start in Tampa with the fallout from another shaky performance from Tom Brady. Stop. Sunday's Bucs lost to the Rams, where Brady had 2 costly interceptions, including one on Tampa's final drive, has sparked questions about this offense. Why isn't it working? Why does it stall in primetime games? Why not ask Bruce Arians? Here's the head coach on what seems to be plaguing Tom Brady.
I don't think it's a confidence problem whatsoever. It's just still it's not lack of trust. It's just lack of continuity within the offense of the whole picture. We've had the guys open. We just missed them. And there are times when coverage dictates you go to that guy. So I think we can do a better job of utilizing the deep ball in our game plan, more of or less of. So each and every week's so different. But when they're there, we need to hit them. We can't have them going off our fingertips, and we can't overthrow them. Other than the deep ball, I think he's getting confused a few times with coverage. That might be causing some inaccurate balls, but I don't see it at all in practice. We're not missing the deep ball in practice, that's for sure. So it's just a matter on Sundays hitting them.
All right, I can hear. I am back. Here we go. And I just listened to that, and I got to ask you, Brandon, are you buying what Bruce Arians is selling, that this is a lack of continuity for Tom Brady, and that's why he's having some problems?
100% is definitely chemistry and continuity issues, the same way as some chemistry and continuity issues in the Wolf House this morning. This is classic. Look, there's a few things that Tom Brady can't control, Jenna. One of them is hitting the deep ball. You just heard Bruce Arians talk about it. We talked about it this week on our show. He has to be able to hit Mike Evans when he beats Jalen Ramsey. That could have been a difference maker in that ball game. He actually had him twice. Just throw him a good ball. And also, you had Gronkowski. You have wide receivers that can take the top off this defense, or they can make a play with you on those 50-50 balls. Read and simple coverage. I said this Tuesday. I said it yesterday. Those were some of them. Those were mistakes that we wouldn't see Tua make. This is simple disguise. They look like they were in quarters. They rocked a 3. The safety overplayed it. You have to be able to see that. That's one of your biggest tendencies that you have in a 2-minute drill. Everybody knows you want to throw the seam ball. You go back to week 1 playing against the Saints. What was the pick that he threw? The seam ball. Mike Evans stopped. So obviously there's some chemistry, there's some continuity issues, but there are things that Tom Brady can control. Now, everybody's beating up on the Bucs. Everybody's beating up on Tom Brady. I was one of them yesterday. You got to hold these guys accountable. That's what makes sports in the locker room so great. Now, let's go to a few things that can fix this Tampa Bay offense. So let's take a look at it. 3 things I believe can get this offense in the right direction. Number 1, run the ball. You have an aging quarterback. Why did we run the ball 18 times? We should at least be running the ball 25 times, maybe even be pushing 30 times a game. They did that in New England. That's what made them successful. Run the ball. That's number 1. Number 2, you counter the run game with waggle and play action. What's waggle? Waggle is a max protection. You know, Nick talks about it all the time. Well, if he's playing against a team that has a pass rush, he's not going to play well. So what do you do to combat that? You go waggle protection. Now you have your stars on your team, your 3 wide receivers that can run 18-yard comebacks. They can run 9-yard stops. Tom Brady throws the 9-yard stop really well. They can throw the in-cut, post. They can run crosser, post. There's so much you can do off waggle protection, and guess what you also have? You have the back chipping and getting into the flat. It's always a good look. Check downs is good. Always go to the check downs. And the last thing you do is utilize Antonio Brown. They tried to do that on Monday Night Football, and it worked well at times. You put him in the slot, he ran looky. Looky is an option route where you run a slant or whip back out, Nick. But you have to run this offense from the inside out. That's what makes Tom Brady good. That's where he thrived in New England, not outside in. So you do the opposite by utilizing Antonio Brown, Nick.
Yeah, so that was very well done and very well laid out. I'm going to do a much shorter version of that. You got to coach around the quarterback. You got a coach understanding the limitations of the quarterback. Run the ball. Pardon me, run the ball. Yeah, because you have a limited quarterback. Max protect, waggle, play action because your quarterback can't get hit. And the Antonio Brown thing, I thought that was the one positive that came out of Monday night was it looked like Brady and AB are back on the same page. But Bruce Arians seems confused about why Tom Brady can look so good even on the deep ball in practice, yet in the games, he doesn't. Well, we're watching practice footage right now. What do you notice when we were showing it about Brady compared to all the other Bucks? That different colored jersey.
Call on me.
Wiles, yeah, sorry, go ahead. Yeah,
you're not allowed.
Yeah, there you go.
Practice, you're not allowed to hit the quarterback.
Can't hit the
and
quarterback.
And in games, you can hit the quarterback.
Exactly.
Good job, Wiles. Good job.
And
Gold
he knows
star,
that.
buddy.
So if Tom Brady, because that final pick he threw, he was not even pressured yet. But he knew, because he is such a cerebral player, that they had just taken A.Q. Shipley, his center, his backup center. A guy had been pressed into duty because Marpet was out, so he slid Jensen over the whole thing. Musical chairs on the offensive line. This guy they're putting in has no experience with him. And the guy he's up against is Aaron Bleepin Donald. So he anticipated the pressure. Was like, I got to get this ball out of here. That's the problem here. And so I'm not saying Brandon's fixes won't help it or you can't work around it, but I know why he looks great in practice. Because he's protected in practice. In the games, he's not. And that, to me, you saw last year with his final year in New England, and you're seeing it a ton this year. His passer rating when pressured is 55. When not pressured, Wilds, it's 107. Like, that's the story right now of Tom Brady to me.
All right, you know what? I'm going to double down on Brandon's run the ball theory. And the best part about working with you, Brandon, is that you've opened my mind up about football. Because, you know, you've talked about diva wide receivers, and I thought diva wide receivers, you know, were very like, throw me the ball. But you're like, no, we actually want other receivers to get the ball, to get the coverage off us, and we also want to run the ball. So I don't think, and I don't want to put words into your mouth, you're asking them to run the ball a ton or turn into a running offense. But the last 3 games against the Saints, remember, they ran the ball 5 times. Then at the Panthers, they ran the ball 37 times. And Ronald Jones had that big 98-yard run. And then against the Rams, they ran for 18 times for 42 yards. So to me, and tell me if I'm wrong here, Brandon, I think that the wide receivers also want to run the ball.
Yeah, I mean, you got to think about it. We want to win. I mean, of course we want to catch the ball. That's what we get paid to do. But at the end of the day, you're paying Tom Brady to go win the game in those moments where he lost it on Monday Night Football. That's why you paid Tom Brady. That's why you bring in a 43-year-old quarterback. I'm not bringing him in, Nick, to throw for 350 yards. I'm not bringing him in to beat Tampa Tom in 2011 when he was the MVP. I'm bringing him in to make smart decisions. So when you see him throw a duck in a 2-minute drill to go win the game and it's picked off versus a simple cover 3 and the seam isn't even there, that's a problem for me. So that's where, you know, I think they need to hone in on just running the ball and getting back to what he does well, Jenna.
Right. And quickly, this is what Coach Mangini said on their show yesterday. You know, you're trying to change up this offense so much to make it work. You have a quarterback who's not much different than he was last year, and they built a system around him last year, and it worked. So why not maybe try to do the same thing in Tampa with Bruce Arians? We're going to talk a lot more about this still ahead. But I got a question for you guys. Is it possible for a 38-year-old quarterback coming off elbow surgery to be an MVP candidate?